purpose of this tutorial is to give you an overview of Google Sites. Google Sites allows you to create free websites within the Google Apps for Education suite. To get started, log into your Google Apps account and open up either your Drive or your Google Gmail. From within this window, go to the Apps grid in the top right corner and select Sites. Here, you'll be taken to a list of any sites that have been shared with you or those that you've created. To get started creating a website, click on the red Create button on the left navigation panel. From here, you can decide if you'd like to use a blank template or browse to see some different a gallery of pre-created website templates. You can search for something specific, or you can look under particular categories to find a template that you like. Once you've found one that you like, you can press Select to apply it to your website. For the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to instead create a blank template. Give your website a name, and once you do, it will create a site URL below. Once your site URL has appeared, you can choose to select a theme if you didn't pick a template from the gallery. As you can see, Google has a number of different themes that you can pick from. Select one that you like, and at the bottom, you can also choose more options if you wanted to specify a site description or place it in a certain category if people were searching for it. Otherwise, you can press Create, and it will create your new website. And by default, it gives you a home page where you can begin to add content. There's really 3 key buttons here that you'll need in order to actually add content and edit this website, and they are in the top right corner. The first one is the Edit Page button. The next one is to create a new page, and then there's also a More button that gives you available options. So let's start with the Edit Page button. What this does is it allows you to only customize the page that you've currently selected. So since we've only created a home page, we'll only be able to edit the home page at this time. From here, what we could do is we could change anything we want about the font. So we have some available fonts here. We can change the size, and we can use any of these editing tools here available at the top as well. So we can change the font color, highlight, turn something into a link, add bullet points, etc. So once we're finished modifying the text that's here, we can go to the Layout button at the top, and what this will do is allow us to customize the organization of this page. So by default, it gives you a 1-column simple option, but you can have it be even more complicated if you want. So you can customize how you want these text boxes to be arranged. So I'll pick this layout, and then I can add whatever type of content that I want to this particular layout. So for example, let's go up to the Insert tab at the top, and if we want to, we can start by inserting an image. So if we're using a tablet or a laptop, we can actually upload an image from our computer. However, if you are using a Chromebook, instead of going to Insert Image, we may want to go to the Drive instead. So if your students are creating sites, have them go to Drive, and they can insert an image that's available in their Drive. They can also add any documents, drawings, folders, forms, presentations, spreadsheets, or videos that they have uploaded in their Drive and embed them right into their website. So what I'll do is I'll start by inserting a text box. So I wanted to have a welcome letter at the start of my website, and I'm going to open up my welcome letter. I'm going to highlight it and copy it since I had already sent this home, and I can paste this into this text box here. And it takes the font and the formatting width. I do have the ability to change anything that I want. about this text though before I insert it. So maybe I want to change the font color, and I can do that. Or I can change the size and customize this any way I want. I can even go to where it says width, and I can specify how large I want this text box to appear. So I would like it to fill the entire space. I'll keep that the way it is. I'll also title this Welcome and save. And when you're in the editor view, it won't display this for you the way it would appear to somebody who's visiting the website. So I'm going to go to save here at the top so you can actually see what it looks like. So there it is, it's filled this entire space. And now I can go back to editing this page by clicking on the Edit Page button. Here's that text box gadget again. Anytime you've inserted anything into your website, you can simply click on it and you have some options here below. You can go to this Properties button and it will take you back if you needed to make any changes to this content. There's also the ability to change the alignment of what you've added. So I wanted it to align left, but I could also align the center or align it to the right as well. You can also choose to have text wrap on or off. So if I chose to turn it on, I could simply type the text and have it wrap around the image. I don't plan to do any text surrounding this letter, so I'll keep it off. And hitting this X button will actually remove the gadget or the content that you've added completely. So it's kind of like a delete button. So moving on to my layout space that I have here below, I will go ahead and go back up to Insert, and this time I think I'll go ahead and add an image that I've uploaded. So I'm going to upload something from my tablet right now. And I'll find a class photo here. And I'll press OK. By default, it's pretty large, but if I click on it here, there's an S, M, and an L, or original. So I like to make this medium. You can customize this however you want. And you have the same ability that you have with any other gadget or content that you've added. You can change the alignment. Or you can change the wrapping of text around this. So I do want text to wrap around this picture, so I'll turn text wrap on. And then here what I can do is I could actually type next to this. My template that I have, the layout that I've chosen really doesn't allow for me to wrap text around this, so I won't add any text to wrap around this particular image. And I can click out of it. If at any point I want to preview and just kind of see what this looks like, I'll press save and it'll kind of show me what my website looks like. And then I can go back into edit again. So this time I'll move on to my next box here. I can go to insert. I could actually insert a link. So you can either choose a page from within the website that you created to link to, or you can use a web address. So let's say extra math. If I wanted to link to that, I can copy, I can paste the link right here, and I can change the display text. And you can choose to select this box here below and have the link open the website in a new window so you aren't taken out of your website. And here it is. Here's my link. I can treat this like any other text, and I can change the font and the size to customize it how I like. And save once I'm done. And this is actually a hyperlink now that will open up this website page. So going back to the edit button here, I'm going to go back to the insert tab. We've talked about how you can insert an image, you can insert a link. In most cases you're not going to need a table of contents or a subpage listing. If you wanted a horizontal line to appear anywhere, you would simply select the spot where you want the horizontal line to appear. and then go to that insert horizontal line, and it just simply places a line separating two different spaces within the website. If you wanted to, you could also insert a table by going to the Table tab. You can customize the number of cells within your table, and it will appear here. You can drag any of these boxes to change the size of it, and then type right into these boxes with whatever content that you want. So if you had any kind of schedule, this might be a good kind of way to format like a schedule, or anything else that you would need a table for organization purposes. If you were to have an embed code for any kind of content, if there's something that your students create on a website and it has an embed code, you could go to HTML box and paste that code here, and it would actually embed that content from another website onto your page. So for example, if your students created an ebook using a website like Little Bird Tales or BiteSlide, I know those two websites actually have embed codes. So you could paste the code and their work would actually be able to paste right into this site. Let's see if there's anything else. So if we go to Insert, we talked about what's in this column here. We've talked about some gadgets. There's more gadgets here. A lot of them won't really be applicable to the classroom setting, but you can feel free to browse through these. We've talked about how you'd insert from Google Drive. You can insert a map as well, so we'll talk about that. Just simply add an address, and Google will find that address, and you can decide how large you want the map to be. And it does just display as an empty object here until we press save. And then once we press save, it will appear here. You could also go to Calendar if you had already created a Google Calendar and insert that as well. Please note that you would have to do all of the editing of the calendar from the original spot where you had created it within your Google Drive, but you can actually embed it into the website if you choose to do so. You also have the ability to add a chart into your website. So if you had added content to a spreadsheet with the data that you want to display, it will actually pull the data from that spreadsheet and create a chart that you could customize. You could also embed YouTube, but keep in mind that this would be blocked for students. So now that we've added all the content that we want to this page, we can save it, and let's go to the next button at the top, which is the New Page button. So this one is very simple. Simply give your page a title. So I'm going to just call this Page 2 of Site. And you can keep it selected as a web page here. There's other options, like you can have it be like a file cabinet instead, or a list. But if you're going to just be creating a typical web page with all sorts of different type of content, then I would keep it on web page. Now the important thing is to select the location of the page. If you keep it on the default setting, it will make it as a link that appears on the top bar of your website. However, if you select the second option, what it will do is it will nest that page underneath the home link on the left navigation bar. So you'll have your home page, and then you'll have all of the pages listed underneath it on the side. So choose how you want this to be organized, and then press Create. And now you can see here's my home page on the left, and underneath it is the next page that I've created. So I can go about editing the second page in the exact same way that I would go about editing the first page, that home page. I can go in and select a layout, I can insert tables, or I can insert any of this additional content types that are here. And I can modify the text and align it however I want it to be. Save. And then the third button here, the More button, gives you some like site actions and page actions that kind of break down your permissions, or that kind of allow you to do a little bit more thorough editing. So what you can do under page actions here is go to revision history, and what this will do is it will show you what edits have been made and in what time frame they've been made and who had done the editing. So if this is a collaborative site, multiple people have been editing, you can restore previous versions of the website and see who had contributed at any given time. So if you find that too many mistakes had been made and you want to revert to an older revision, you can go to this link here on the side that says revert to this version. Alright, so we're going to go back here and go back to more. You can also subscribe. So let's say you have created a website and you allow your students to add content to it. As a way for you to monitor changes that have been made to a certain page, you could subscribe to it by clicking here, and what will happen is you'll get an email notification letting you know anytime anyone had added additional content to that page. You also, under site actions, have the ability to subscribe to any site changes. So if anywhere on the entire site some content had been added, you can get an email notification about that. What you can do is preview here the page as a viewer if you wanted to. So this is what this page would look like for anyone who doesn't have editing permissions, that only has viewing permissions. And then simply close that tab once you're finished. You can copy pages and print them and delete pages if you want to as well. And then you can go down here and use some of these additional links under site actions. So what we can do is go to the edit site layout option here, and what this does is allows you to customize how this page is organized, different than the layout, which just allows you to customize this portion. The edit site layout will give you a little bit more freedom as to how you want the heading or the site title to appear, the heading, if you want it to be a certain theme or organized in a particular manner. You can also customize the sidebar here. So I can go to this edit button and actually change this. I want this to be larger, so I'll make the width in pixels a little larger here and press OK. You can see it expands it. I can turn on horizontal navigation here, and now I've got a home button at the top. If you had chosen to organize your page along the horizontal navigation bar, now all of those different pages would appear as links here at the top if you turned this on. I'm fine with my sidebar navigation, so I'm going to turn that off and then press close here. So under the More button, there's also this Manage Site button here. So if I go to Manage Site, this is where I would go to actually delete the entire site if I no longer wanted it. I can add a category or a description of the site if I hadn't done this initially and I chose to after the fact. You can turn off showing the site name at the top of the page if you don't want it to appear. Let's see. So if we go to Pages, we'll be able to see what pages are available on our site. Attachments will show you any content that had been uploaded to the site. So if you weren't quite sure where it was uploaded but you wanted to be able to find it, this will just list out any attachments. Page templates here. This is just if you wanted to change something from the typical web page default to one of these other standard templates here. Deleted items, you'll be able to actually see if anything had been deleted, and you can recover it, so nothing is permanently lost until you go through and delete it permanently from here. You've got some general settings, which is what it took us to initially. Sharing and permissions. There's another spot where you can share or modify permissions, but here's one of those spots. So by default, it's allowing everybody in the district to find and edit your site. You may want to change this and decide that only people with a link can view it instead of having editing permissions. you can also invite specific users to have editing permissions. So, or you can even relinquish the control as the owner of the site to someone else. Other way around too, if you wanted to make this a private site up here, you could share it privately and then only allow certain people to view the site by adding their email addresses and then giving them can view permissions. If at any point you wanted to access the link to your site, it's here at the top, so you could copy that and either post it on maybe your SchoolWires page or email this to somebody. This is the URL to your site. And then if we go down here, we can go to Themes, Colors, and Fonts, and we can actually change the look and feel of this site. So I had initially chosen this theme. If I decided after the fact I didn't really like it, I could choose one of these other themes instead. And then it just breaks down all of the different sections of the website. So for the entire page, you can turn off certain colors, you can add certain images, you can modify the text to appear differently, and then even go down even further and modify just the site header or the content area. So it just allows you to modify the look and feel of the different sections of the text or of the website. And then save once you're finished. So we'll go back to our website here. And as I mentioned before, there's another spot where you can go to share. It's the typical spot within Google Apps where you can go to share. So you can go here and modify permissions for people. And also under more, there's a sharing and permissions link you can go to as well. So many different spots where you can go to modify permissions of other users. So this tutorial has been intended to show you how you can create your own Google site within the Google Apps for Education suite.